So it's an honor to be with you all. And when I don't post this widely, what I get is the people who've been on their path and showing up steadily. So thank you for showing up to yourself steadily. As I look around this room, I know there are a lot of people in upheaval. I see you. I know what's going on with you, whether you have your video on or not. Yeah, I see you too. I love you. I'm glad you're here. So I just want to honor the path that we're all on and how intense it can be, how incredibly gut-wrenching this path of releasing our ego and attachments and feeling gutted at times in the not knowing who we are beyond what just keeps melting and disassembling. So if you've been on your path for a while, you know these dark nights of the soul. I'm not currently in one, but every time I take on a client and go into the depth of inner work, and every time I find myself with the ice axe, chipping away at the tamas. Tamas is the inertia or the attachments or the parts of ourselves that we've been avoiding like the plague. And we all do this. There are parts of ourselves that we just don't want to look at, or we don't want to see that, or we make meaning about. Because we get attached to the way that we set up our cognition or our sense of how the world works. Right? I need to be this person. And if I get a glimpse of being not that person, I simply cannot handle that. Does that make sense to you? This is really the depth of shadow work. Or I believe my family is this way, or my marriage is this way, or this relationship is this way. This is how it is. And any data to the contrary just can't come in because I can't fucking handle it. Do you know that feeling that I'm referring to? And so we get so attached to understanding and knowing and figuring it out. And at the same time, burying that part that we just I just can't feel that. I just can't look at that. I want to fight that. And any data to the contrary is I just can't. And I want to normalize that very human condition. And we'll create cognitive dissonance. We'll say, nope, that's not true. All of this is true. This is not true. And we'll create blind spots because I can't be the narcissist like my mom, or my family or my marriage can't be that way. I can't handle that. And so I'll focus here and believe this, but anything that looks or smells like that, I just can't do. And I think of the three energies of the divine as stated through the yogic path. We have the energy of creation, Saraswati energy, creation. We have the energy of sustainment, Lakshmi energy, keeping things as they are abundantly. And then we have the energy of destruction, Durga, Kali energy. And our spiritual path is going to need all three of those energies. We need to be able to create a new vision of what we want now and in the future. And we need to manifest that and create a new pathway of positive thinking or neutrality or emotional stability or whatever it is we're building, nervous system. We need to create that, yes. And we need to be able to sustain love, care, family, our job, Whatever it is, sustainment is important. But let us not forget the energy of destruction that needs to be harnessed. And that energy of the destruction is the illusion of the ego, those stories, that belief system, that concept of ourselves that we need to maintain or we feel like we're going to die. And that destruction is equally important to being able to create sustain. Because if we can't clear out the old building to build the new building and maintain the new building, we're going to be creating on rubble, on a really wobbly foundation. So as we're creating and we're going in and we're rebuilding ourselves and we're sustaining a good nervous system and holding love and really holding it down and staying, as we're creating and staying, we need to be simultaneously in another part of the building, clearing out, breaking down the old, challenging our attachments, really being willing to take out the old, examine under every rock what's ready to go. How can I clear this? What does my ego say? Oh, don't go near that topic. Don't touch that. That is sacred. That is my foundation. The ego wants to attach to something outside of self or an image of self in order to feel safe. But that's not safe. That egoic image of what my marriage is or what my family is or who I am as a mother or who I am as a worker or who am I as a community member. That image is just that. It's a concept. So Byron Katie teaches us to flip every belief upside down. What if the opposite of that is true? So if I'm working to be a good person, to not be a bad person, to not be a narcissist, because that's what's in my family lineage and I'm pitta imbalanced, and I'm just working to be good, I need to be a good person. And I'm not willing to look at the places where maybe that's not true. The places where I might be that very energy that I'm so scared to be. Or if I'm in a marriage and it's great, but there are some places like our finances or our sex life or, why is he talking to that person all the time or whatever. And I'm burying that down because I just want to focus over here. And I'm not willing to look at the parts where maybe that's not true. Because that could be destructive. So where are we like, la, 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 la? Where are we doing that? And what are we afraid of? What falls apart if we look underneath that rock or in that part of our ego or our psyche or ourselves? It feels like death. We set it up that way. Our trauma packets are set up that way. But if my father was a nutcase, just crazy, and I'm doing everything not to be crazy, what if I looked at the crazy inside of me? So often, we'll look at it as if we're just codependent. Okay, I'm just codependent. But what if we took the labels off and really look at, I don't know who I am unless I'm taking care of someone else? What if we took all of those structures out of it and we're able to just be like, wow, without taking care of other people, I'm nothing. And we sat with that feeling. that we've been avoiding our whole lives, or we've stayed so busy and distracted that we haven't wanted to feel that feeling. We're so busy keeping it all together. What if we just spent 2 hours in the vibration of it's all fallen apart and I'm just going to let it all go? I'm broke. My person left me. My kids are not the people I thought I was going to raise, or I am not the mother I thought I was going to be. What if we sat with that bit of abandonment or failure or insecurity and let it all fall apart around us? And sat in the knowing of who I am in the presence of it all just crumbling down. This is the phoenix rising, because when it all crumbles down, if you just allow yourself to go into that vibration with me, what is it that you've been fighting so hard to keep together, to maintain about yourself or in your family or whatever? What have you been fighting to hold together? I'm looking around the room. I see you. I know those who are trying to hold it together. What if you didn't? What if you let it all just fall apart? Just do this with me right now. Breathe into your body and look at what you've been clinging or attaching or trying to fit into your cognitive belief system. That if you were to just let the bad thing happen, or just let go of trying to control it all, keep it together. Whether you're trying to be right or trying to be good or trying to be safe or trying to get that connection, truth, be seen, whatever it is. And you let the chips fall where they may. You just let it go. Go ahead. I see your emotion. Be in it. I'm here with you in it. There's a time to fight and there's a time to let go. I'm inviting you to just let go of keeping it all together, holding the image or the view, the belief. Just let it all go. Let who you thought you were in this, let that go. I'm here. I see you with a whole mess around you. I love you in the nothingness of it. Can you love you with it all disassembled, crumbled? Just let it all go. Let all those bad things that you were afraid of, let them happen in your mind, in your body. Allow yourself to feel like you tried. You did your best. Just let it go. Give it another minute to just let it go. No more controlling or trying to make it work or trying to fix it or trying to get it, trying to convince them or trying to be right about it. Just let it go. Let it all fall apart. Let them think that about you. Let them say those things. Let it go. With each breath, each exhale, let it go. No more keeping it together. And in your mind or your heart, let the bad thing happen, that thing that you were trying to prevent. Just go there. It's happened. They think this way. You lost the relationship. What you thought wasn't true. It's good. Stay with your breath. And just allow it to be you, just you here. Stay with you. Choose to love you, even though it fell apart. Just be here with you. Just be in your breath. And know that in this moment, you're okay, even though it all fell apart. Even though the bad thing happened, just feel in your body in this moment, I'm okay. I'm here. And as you breathe in, command the presence of the divine to be here in the ashes with you. Let the divine light, the divine being, the angel, Buddha, Jesus, receive the divine's love in the mess. Stay with your breath. Just feel the divine, feel God right here in the nothingness. Feel that you're not alone in this. You have the divine. You have a choice to accept you right here in this space, just as the divine accepts you, loves you. See if you can feel that. Feel the simplicity of that, the freedom in there. Not having to prevent the bad thing, not having to hold it all together, sitting in the rawness. See if you can feel your freedom in that space, See if you can feel your divinity in that space. Just notice what this feels like in your body. This level of letting go. This feeling of loving yourself in this nothingness. Just hold yourself right there. Good. Nice deep breath here in this. I can see you naturally already breathing. Take a nice deep breath into it. Allow yourself to feel that peace. And just notice what that feels like. How you would name that in your body. Is it freedom? Is it peace? Is it surrender? Is it nothingness? Is it grounding? Is it strength? Is it your power? Can you feel that you got your power back in the surrender? Just notice that subtle sense. And now, if you will, as you sit with that feeling in your body, allow yourself to think of that situation that you were trying to hold together, but now think of it from this surrendered vibration, if you will. You went down the rabbit hole of letting it all fall apart. You've been there now. So with these eyes, with this sense of peace, go back to that situation that you were fighting to keep together. And just allow yourself to re-experience it from this vibration in your body. And just note what new perspectives are now here, or new sensations or emotions. Just note how you relate to that situation now. There's more ease. There's more of a shrug. Well, we'll see what I can do. Do my best. If it falls apart, my body has been there now and knows that I'm going to be okay on the other side of everything falling apart. Fear is a lack of data, and your body now has the data and the freedom. So as you begin to integrate that vibration into that situation, just see if you can hold that freedom that you just built, that peace, that surrender, in the space of coming back into that situation. Just note the shift in the consciousness. It's very subtle. Does that make sense to you? Just give me a nod. Are you able to take that and now bring it to the present moment? Okay. As you start coming back, I just want to share with you that I do this with myself at least weekly. I look at all the things that I'm trying to keep together and hold together and make sure nobody thinks or everybody believes or all of that keeping it together. And I go into that worst part. What if that opposite of what I'm trying to do is true? And I let myself vibrationally go down the rabbit hole. For me, as those of you who've been with me for a while, I'm a bad person. I let myself go down okay, so let's say I did the bad thing, or I said the bad thing, or I was wrong, or terrible. Let's say that's true. Go there. And I go into the scariest places in myself and let myself sit in the space for everything to fall apart. People to hate me, to get kicked out of my family, whatever it is, I go there regularly. And in that space of allowing Shiva, Kali, Durga to take all of those beliefs of who I think I am or what I think I should be, and as they disassemble on my meditation chair, I'm able to sit with the reality of me in that darkest, deepest, most word space. And I recommit to being there for me, even if that were true. Receiving the divine's love, even if that worst, scariest part of myself is true. And so then I'm not scared of what might happen as I move out of that experience because I've already been there. My consciousness has already digested the worst case. And now I can just live without the false evidence appearing real, without that fear of who I'm going to find out I am, or who would I be without that spouse or kids or community or whatever, business. That is a regular part. In inner alignment, we call it a fear exploration. That is a regular part of my personal practice. You could call it shadow work. You could call it whatever. But I just want you to hold the vibration of being there in the rubble and knowing that you're okay in that space. As you practice that neural pathway in your brain, what happens is when you're in a trauma response and you're like, I'm going to die, they're going to kick me out of the tribe. When your trauma brain is doing that, within your prefrontal cortex is the wiring of, yeah, well, I've been there. If that happens, I know I'll be okay. Does that make sense to you? The trauma brain says you're going to get kicked out, you're unworthy, you don't matter. But if we've gone through a conscious experience of building the pathway in the prefrontal cortex that, if it all turns to shit, I'll still be okay. I'll still have me. I'll still have the divine. Then what happens is that trauma response with it will come and I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I'll be a humbled, surrendered, peaceful, okay. So that's the work we just did. And remember, We can use law of attraction and love and sustainment, super important. But if we're not willing to use the divine energy of destruction to allow our ego forces to release us from those fears that keep us bound in life, that is courageous work. And you have to have a certain level of consciousness to do that work. But it is profoundly, it's pure freedom on the other side. And that is my hope for you, is that you just got a little drip, little taste of that freedom today. I love you guys. I'm going to stay on here because I know I just took you into a deep space. If you want to type into the chat anything that came up for you, please go ahead and do so. And to those who are watching this via recording, I do look at the YouTube comments as well, and I'll respond there.